Hello everyone, this is Sqorck, and this week I'm going to show you how to add some detail and depth to the sides of your buildings. Hello everyone, this is Sqorck and welcome to Sqorck Shorts. I'm going to show you a fairly standard workflow that I use on a day-to-day basis. And first step I usually do for general buildings is I'll lay out the wireframe for the structure, like just a basic outline of what I want it to look like and the shape of it. Then once I have that done, I'll fill in that shape behind all the blocks, fill it in with my primary material. Then after that, I'll go through and I'll knock out all the windows and doors and make sure it looks right for all the placement of those. And then after that, I'll go around and I'll add a whole bunch of details to everything around the windows and walls on the roofs, and just in general adding a bunch of detail to all the areas. And so this is the step I'm going to focus on today and show you guys how to add these details and make walls less boring and flat. And this workflow I use for all sorts of buildings. It doesn't have to be so blocky or square as this one. It can be rounded or have all sorts of angles in there, and it doesn't really make a difference. When starting with a structure that has flat walls, you want to add some depth to it, at least 2 blocks. I like to do 3, but 2 works as well. So what I'll do is I'll usually line the edges if I don't have them already from the wireframe. And you can do this by putting a block on the outside like this, or if you want to, you can put blocks on the inside and then dig those blocks out. Like so. But this gives us a little bit of room to work with so that we can actually go in and add our details to it. But once I've added an edge to all of my flat walls and added depth to all of it, what I'll do is I'll use stairs and half slabs along with the full block of whatever I use to add the trim. And you can do that with any of the different colors and blocks that are available to have half slab stairs and full blocks of that kind, like all the woods and the sand and all of that stuff. But once you have it, you just kind of go in and figure out how you want to do it. So say here I want some windows on each side, make it symmetrical. Then I'll take a look at it, probably split it here, just so that there's 2 blocks on each side of the window. And then a common way to add some roundness to corners and stuff is to add stair blocks in the corners facing that way. You can do it on the bottom too. And if you want this to look less like pillars, you could add half slabs to the bottom there. And there's lots of different designs and patterns and things you can do with this, and I'll show you a couple of them in a bit. But it's just adding detail slowly with things like that and adding depth to the wall so it's not flat. Another trick you can try doing is for your windows, adding a little inset for them. I do this a lot, and I'll add my panes into there. And that can be a good detail for windows, as opposed to something flat like this. When creating the designs to fill in flat walls and add details to stuff, you want to take into account your theme and always use blocks that are going to fit your theme. And you'll notice that I'm mainly working with rectangles and squares here, and pretty much anytime you do details like this, you want to be doing it on squares. So you'll notice, like over here on my building, I have a square here, rectangle-ish area over here, big long rectangle there. And then over here, you'll see I have a very strange, like oblong L type shape here. And that's harder to work with and make it look right if you're just adding the details straight into there. So what I did to fix that is I took my iron and made it into two smaller squares. So I have a rectangle down here and a larger rectangle up here. So it's two different ones. And then I can make those symmetrical and even and make them look right. If I was doing it just with that open area and trying to fill in the spaces, it would look a little bit uneven and not quite right. So having squares when working on the details, so that if you want it to look symmetrical and even, then it's really important to cut them up into smaller sections and get them all to correct rectangles or squares. Another thing to remember is that you have several other blocks that you can use when detailing that can be used on pretty much any theme, such as like fences and glowstone and ladders and stuff. Utilizing these extra blocks can really make a difference in adding extra detail to a structure. When dealing with pointed windows such as this, you want to make sure that the corners are actually connected so that it looks like there's actually something more than just a corner touching. So you can do this with upside down stairs, or if you have half slabs, that is another way to do it. Makes it look a little bit more natural and correct. Another method, as opposed to putting blocks around the corners, is to make all of your walls layered. And here's a 3-layer wall. And what you can do with this is actually add a lot of detail just by knocking out stuff on the side. And then this way, by knocking in deeper, you can reveal different colors and different parts of your object and add a lot of depth to different parts of the walls. Utilizing stairs and half slabs in unique ways can create some cool shapes and things that are interesting to look at in your walls. There are many ways to make something look unique and creative and actually add a lot of detail and depth to the wall. Just like this desert theme, I've seen this several times in different builds, and you can add a lot of detail just by making little circles with upside down stairs and adding like stairs and half slabs combining to make interesting shapes on the back wall. And then vertical pillars, these can be used all over the place. We make stripes and different designs with them. But all the desert stuff just shows the diversity and the different things you can do with different themes as well, not just what I've been showing you. That's all for this week. I'll see you guys next time.